Hi friends, here in this video we are going to see what is meant by centrifugal tension, and I am going to derive the formula for centrifugal tension in belt. Now, as we see, here is a diagram in which there is a pulley having radius small r. That pulley is rotating with angular velocity omega. Over that pulley we have a belt, and here I have taken a small section of that belt having length mn, and the angle subtended by that belt at the center of the pulley is delta theta. So here I'll just shade this cross section of the belt. So this much is the belt section which I have taken over the pulley. Now we know that centrifugal force is that force which pulls the body away from the center. Similarly, when a pulley is rotating and a belt is mounted over that pulley, in that case, due to the rotation of the pulley, the belt is pulled outwards, as we can see, because of this centrifugal force Fc. Now, since the belt is mounted over the pulley, it will try to resist this centrifugal force, and when it is resisting the centrifugal force, that kind of force or the resisting force is called as centrifugal tension in belt. You can also say that centrifugal tension is an additional tension which is added onto the belt apart from tension in tight side and tension in slack side. So here when we see the diagram, T1 indicates tension in tight side, T2 is the tension in slack side, and T suffix C is the centrifugal tension. This centrifugal tension is acting at an angle of delta theta by 2 to the horizontal, and here as explained that Mn is the portion of the belt which I have taken subtending an angle of delta theta. Now here quickly I'll mention the terms which I am going to use in the derivation part. So I'll say here now here I have defined all the terms which I am going to use into the derivation part, and those are: small r indicates the radius of pulley, omega is the angular velocity of the pulley in terms of radian per second, mn is the small portion or the small length of belt which I have taken, then T1 is the tension in tight side, unit is Newton. Similarly, T2 is the tension in slack side, again Newton, and centrifugal tension is Tc. M is the mass of the belt per meter length, kg per meter. Fc is the centrifugal force in terms of Newton, and V is the velocity of belt, that is in terms of meter per second. Next, after this, at first I am going to find the mass of this portion Mn of the belt. In order to find that mass, first I'll say that here the length of this Mn portion is nothing but length of an arc, which will be r into this angle which is delta theta. So here I'll say that since the length of belt in portion Mn will be radius into delta theta, because radius multiplied by angle will give us the length of arc. Next, the mass of this belt will be given by mass of belt in portion Mn, that small amount of mass first of all which we have defined earlier, that small m is mass of the belt per meter length in terms of kg per meter, and when I multiply this mass with the total length, it is going to give me the total mass. So this m multiplied by the total length, which is r into delta theta, so the mass of the belt in portion Mn is m into r delta theta. And why so? Because r into delta theta is having the unit meter, and this m is defined earlier in case it is kg per meter, so meter in meter will get cancelled out, and so we are going to get this mass. Next, after getting the mass of the belt in portion Mn, the next thing which I'll do here is to find the centrifugal force. For that I am writing the formula of centrifugal force. Since centrifugal force is given by mr omega square, and we know that omega is equal to the linear velocity upon radius, So that will become m into r Instead of omega, I'll write down V upon R, so it becomes V square by R square. So therefore the centrifugal force will be, here single R and R will get cancelled out, so it is mv square by R. Then after reaching up till here, now this mass is the total mass of portion Mn, so I'll write this total mass, that will be small m into R into d theta V square by R. Next, here this R and R will get cancelled out, and I'm getting the centrifugal force as m V square delta theta, and this will be my equation number 1. So the first thing which I have done in this derivation part was to find the mass of the belt in portion Mn. I found out that mass, then the centrifugal force, and finally we have reached up to equation number 1. The next step would be to use this diagram, and in this diagram Tc is the centrifugal force. Along both the sides we can see we are getting the centrifugal tension, and here is the centrifugal force. So I would be drawing the FBD for the given figure. So the free body diagram of the pulley would be in such a way that we have a centrifugal force which is acting upwards, then there are centrifugal tensions inclined at angle delta theta by 2 and delta theta by 2. Now these centrifugal tensions, as they are having angle delta theta by 2 with the horizontal, so it would be having two components. One is the horizontal component, which will be Tc cos delta theta by 2, and then there will be the vertical component, which would be Tc cos sine delta by 2, which would be the vertical component. So I'm going to use the vertical component because we are going to see that those vertical components would be resisting the Fc centrifugal force, because these horizontal components won't be resisting this centrifugal force because the force is vertical. So we have to have opposite forces in the direction opposite to that of centrifugal force. So considering only the vertical components, and those vertical components would be Tc sine delta theta by 2 on both sides, Tc sine delta theta by 2 on both sides. So here I am just taking the vertical components because they are resisting Fc. Then as we can see here, all the forces are vertical, and for the equilibrium of the belt, or we can say for the equilibrium of the pulley, the summation of all these forces should be equal to 0. So I am going to use the condition of equilibrium, that is, since summation of Fy is equal to 0, and where the convention is upward forces are treated positive and downward forces are taken as negative, so therefore we can see that Fc is acting upward, so it will be plus. Tc sine delta theta by 2, both are negative, so that will be minus Tc sine delta theta by 2 and minus Tc sine delta theta by 2, and they are all equal to 0. So from this Fc will be, when both these terms they go on to the right hand side, they would be added, so that will give me 2 Tc sine delta theta by 2. Now here this angle delta theta is very small, and when this angle is very small, the sine of that angle will also be very small. In other words, we can say that delta theta is equal to sine delta theta, and the same would be for delta theta by 2. So here I can say that 2Tc, it will be just delta theta by 2, because sine delta theta by 2 is very much similar or equal to delta theta by 2, as delta theta is very small. So after the cancellation here, I am getting the centrifugal force as Tc into delta theta, and that will be equation number 2. So here we have seen in equation 1 we were getting mv square delta theta as the centrifugal force. In equation 2 it is Tc delta theta. Now I would be equating equations 1 and 2. Equating equations 1 and 2. In equation 1 we were having mv square delta theta. In equation 2 it is T suffix c delta theta, and from both the sides delta theta are going to get cancelled out, and we are remaining here with the formula of Tc is equal to mv square. This I am calling it as equation A, and now I can say that equation A gives the formula. Equation A gives the formula for centrifugal tension in belts, and as we can see in this formula, the centrifugal tension in the belt depends only upon two things. First is the mass of the belt and other is the velocity of the belt. It means the centrifugal tension is independent of tension in tight side and tension in slack side. So here we can say that the centrifugal tension increases if m, that is the mass of the belt, increases, and vice versa, that is if the mass of the belt decreases, the centrifugal tension decreases. Similarly, centrifugal tension increases if the velocity of belt increases, that is if we run the pulley at a higher speed, then we are going to get the more value of centrifugal tension, and vice versa, that is if the velocity of the belt decreases, then the centrifugal tension will go on decreasing. So in this case, in this video, we have seen what is meant by centrifugal tension. What is the effect of that centrifugal tension? It increases the tension on the belt, that is apart from tension in tight side and tension in slack side, we even get another tension which is the centrifugal tension, and whose formula is mv square, where m is the mass of the belt and v is the velocity of the belt. So with this the derivation gets completed.